Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. He has been on a roll. He'll be with us Monday night. Oh, I'm sure it's going to go viral. Anyway, with his thoughts on, of course, full-time Trump stalker, Tweety Bird, and podcaster Gavin Newsom and his obsession with knee pads and President Trump. Take a look.
I think Gavin Newsom may be cracking up with some of these things he's saying. I think he may be in over his hairdo. And being on the national stage is very different than being governor of California with no signature achievements. But to say strange things like President Trump is a Tyrannosaurus Rex, what the hell does that mean? I could say Gavin Newsom is a brontosaurus with a brain the size of a walnut. And if you brought the knee pads, maybe that was for his meeting with Alex Soros. I don't know.
I honestly can't wait for Scott Bessent to be on Monday. Now, of course, Bessent is referring to the far-left Democratic mega donor Alex Soros, George Soros' son, who seems to have unfettered access to every major Democrat around the country, and with that, the control that you would imagine, including, of course, Gavin Newsom, seen here smiling ear to ear with this great, rich Democratic donor of 1%. In addition to comparing Newsom's brain to the size of a walnut, Bessent also compared the governor to, well, American Psycho Patrick Bateman and Sparkle Ken Barbie. In other words, Bessent is calling Newsom both unhinged, brainless, and I'll add to that soulless and completely incompetent, an empty suit with raw ambition, and along with his career as a full-time podcaster, Tweety Bird, psycho Trump stalker, and now world traveler, including Europe and everything, and even China, where he awkwardly tackled and then spanked, look, a young man during a pickup basketball game. Very nice of him. Anyway, has also been measuring the drapes at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue for quite some time. Unfortunately, in his quest for fame and power, Newsom forgot to show up for his day job as California's governor. Remember, Gavin, you were elected to that job. Or maybe he just doesn't have what it takes to be an effective leader, so he gave up. California is an absolute train wreck. Politico just described the budget as a nightmare. Meanwhile, entire neighborhoods in Los Angeles burned to the ground. People can't get a permit to rebuild their homes. Why? Because he's a climate change lunatic that doesn't believe in the science of forestry, didn't have the good common sense to ensure the fire hydrants and reservoirs actually had water for what are predictable California wildfires and Santa Ana winds. Now, few have been able to even start rebuilding because of state and local government regulations. Gavin hasn't lifted a finger. At the same time, city streets